Week 15 preview. Like Pep said, we'll kick off with the Saturday games.
I got too excited. Saturday night game, Sunday morning.
We got two games. The Coco game being the Raiders taking on the Browns.
Yes. So you mentioned Nick Mullins will be starting quarterback for the Cleveland Browns.
Kareem Hunt, I believe, is out as well with an injury. So it looks like it's going to be a heavy dose of the Chubb, potentially with 1,000 carries in this one.
Can you look up... full Chubb.
What?
Make sure Safe Search is on.
Case Keenum,
Case Keenum said we prefer to have a full Chubb than a half Chubb. Something along those lines.
It's good to have a full Chubb because he's fit and healthy and he's got to be good. Yeah.
He's got a full Chubb.
Case, of course, knew what he was doing. He 100% knew what was going on.
Case.
The Raiders.
I'd like to split a case with Case, I reckon.
The Raiders, on the other hand, they did come off an absolute smacking by the Chiefs, and I think they had 5 turnovers in that match.
Yep.
Big time.
They got smoked. Like really badly. We were kind of thinking take the overs, but we didn't kind of think it would just be the Chiefs just lit it up. And didn't really have to do too much offensively, like you said. The Raiders turned the ball over. One bright spark for the Raiders was Hunter Renfrow. He had 13 catches for 117 yards and a touchdown. He has 30 catches in his last 3 games. He's number 12 in fantasy.
Yes. Marks, can you find out if Waller is playing?
Making you work overtime here,
that's probably my last one because
Waller the baller. It's a big in, it's a big out. Whether or not.
I'd had tipped Cleveland during the week, even in spite of Mayfield being out, because I knew they were going to have a full Chubb, and that Keenum can definitely hand it off to Chubb in this one.
A full Chubb,
and I'm hoping they've got Nick isolated somewhere, so he's not going to catch anything from anyone else. Because they're gonna,
they're loving it.
Yeah, they're gonna need a full Chubb in this one. I'm starting to lean towards the Browns have a lot of people out in this one, but maybe I'm hopeful. I'm sticking with because I've got a full Chubb in my fantasy team, so I'm going back in the Browns in this one. What about you boys?
I think you should just type in what Sean just said into Google and see what happens. Full Chubb fantasy.
Thank you.
Hard one here. I'm gonna go with the Raiders. Browns COVID hard. I know Baker's copped his medicine this year, but a third string quarterback, even with that powerful running game, hard to pull off.
And the way OBJ's been playing the last couple of weeks, maybe he wasn't the problem.
Interesting to see. We'll get to the Rams in a second, but OBJ, 3 touchdowns in 3 weeks. If you don't mind, at the team that used to play out of St. Louis. Raiders for mine, although not super confident.
Should be a close game.
Again, hate to go back. The stadium is literally... Adelaide Oval is empty except for one bay of Barmy Army people.
Yeah.
They're going to get their beverages in. Monks, what about you? What was your tips and odds?
Yep. So quickly on Waller, he is still questionable. Hasn't been practicing from reports I can see. So
like
probably
chances.
Game day. Don't like his chances. Yeah. So earlier in the week, I had tipped the Browns. They were a slight underdog at $2.08. I thought that'd be a smoky for the week.
Blown out, hasn't it?
Yeah, it has blown out. So I have jumped ship and I have backed the Raiders as well. They are favourites at $1.47. Browns have pushed out to $2.71 at the moment. We do have a line of 3.5. Total match points of 38.
38 is nothing.
Browns haven't scored points though.
True. Could be a bit
They've
of
played
weather.
2 games against the Ravens though, so
could be a bit of
famously
weather
grinding
in
games.
Cleveland, but 38 is legitimately nothing. Yes. Interesting to see here, courtesy of ESPN Footy Tips. If you're looking to sponsor a podcast, we are all ears.
Actually, I did notice that a second ago.
The Cleveland Browns have 76% of the tips, despite being the underdogs.
I think that's because that's the Aussie ESPN, so they have no fucking idea what's going on. So.
I'm assuming a
As
lot
per
of
us.
Well, I think we're all inside the top 1,000 of that 13,000 league. So
Are we?
Yeah.
And I forgot to do my tips week one. That's pretty good.
So kind of anyway. The next matchup for Saturday, we've got the Patriots taking on the Colts. Patriots, of course, 9-4. I think number one, aren't they?
I believe so. Yes. I believe so.
And the Colts have been rising up the ranks after their slow start to the season.
This is the old, AFC, gatekeepers, if you will, was the Colts. Inevitably, often getting beaten by the Patriots in the AFC Championship game.
Brady versus Manning, that's what we're talking
versus Manning. That man, Tony Dungy, we spoke about before. Dungy versus Belichick. A lot of that, when we were kind of first getting into the league. Obviously, it's 2021. Belichick's still there, but the quarterbacks are Mac Jones and Carson Wentz. But two teams that are definitely going in the right direction in the AFC. I'm looking forward to seeing this on a Sunday morning. Two teams with stout defenses as well, boys. The Patriots defense, like their numbers speak for themselves. Right. And the Colts, led by Darius Leonard in the middle there. We did see that weather-affected Buffalo Bills New England Patriots game. This one will be very different under the roof in Indianapolis.
We didn't even talk about, Mac Jones, what was he, 2 or 3 to win that game?
Yep, 19 yards.
All the handoffs in the world.
Yep.
That's the game plan the Browns need this week.
Yes.
Yeah, so,
we expect this one to be a bit more free-flowing, a little
Bill
bit more
Belichick,
offense.
Coach of the Year, et cetera, et cetera. I've backed the Patriots because I just think they're going in the right direction. And I've been all over Mac Jones since draft day. So
you're a big Mac fan.
Yeah. He's doing what we thought that end up doing. Put him in the right situation. Who did we think would have the best rookie year? We thought it would be Mac just because of the way that Patriots team works. And here we are. They're still 9-4 going to play playoffs. Didn't take them too long to retool after losing Tom Brady. So, goes credit to that organisation.
Indeed.
Pat's for mine for me.
I'm going to go opposite to you. I'm going to go the Colts. I think under the roof with Jonathan Taylor and that offense, I think that offensively, that's where the Colts might have the advantage. Obviously, we saw the strength of the Patriots running game. Guess who else has a good running game? The Indianapolis Colts.
I saw that, I think today, I saw in the last 2,100 and something snaps for Quentin Nelson's. He's given up 1 sack. So
he is an absolute fucking beast.
Hall of Fame career incoming.
And let's rewind back to the preseason. We were saying, Carson Wentz and Quentin Nelson were hurt, and they started slow, and those guys were hurt playing, and but hurt, missed a couple, but hurt. Yep. And now both those guys are in, and guess what? They're winning a lot of football games. So, two very, very good football players, especially Quentin Nelson at that left guard position. Monks, you will have the deciding tip in this one. Patriots or Colts?
Yep. I have gone Colts as well. They are favourites at $1.71. The Patriots are out at $2.14 at the moment. It's going to be a very close game with a line of 2.5. And we've got total match points of 45.5 with Jonathan Taylor anytime touchdown $1.50.
That's not bad. He scored fucking 16 touchdowns or whatever it is.
He does face a very good defense in the Patriots, but it's still that's not too bad. I am quite enjoying that you guys are going opposite to me, so I hope you go opposite in the next one because I've picked the Cowboys to beat the Giants.
Yeah, I've got the Cowboys too.
The boys, they did withstand a little bit of a comeback from Washington football team. Mike, can you find out for me if the Heineken, Taylor Heineke, is actually playing in this?
The Heineken, I like
it. Because they had Brendan Allen, I think, play a little bit towards the end of that game.
He did, yep.
And they were a little bit struggling there. So Dak's been a little bit hot and cold of late as well. But they're still winning football games and they're 9-4. So Cowboys doing something all right. Micah Parsons, I think, is up to 12 sacks on the year, something like that. So
I did hear he might be the first player ever, not just rookies, first player ever to have over 100 tackles and 15 sacks on the season.
It's crazy. Like his first month, he was averaging 10 tackles a game, and then they've just moved his position, and he's got a sack every game since then. So it's Where do you play him next year? Do you take the sack numbers, or do you want him as your future man inside? Like
maybe Swiss Army knife. We've seen it on the offensive side of the ball. Taysom Hill moves around. Maybe they can move him around to inside and outside.
We'll have to see with the creative defensive minds over there what they come up with.
It's pretty crazy for a 21-year-old or 22-year-old to be that dominant straight away.
We knew he was an elite athlete.
Yeah, I don't think we knew he was going to be this good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, to move him into a position where he's probably slightly undersized for as an outside linebacker, but he's obviously doing a job. So.
His speed, I think.
Definitely.
Speed talks at that outside linebacker position.
Having said all that, Giants not going in the right direction.
No.
Currently, still trying to get their offensive weapons healthy.
Did Mike Glennon get the start in the end last week?
Yeah, I think he did. And that was going to be a question, is Danny Dimes going to play in this one? You don't need to get me an answer on Taylor Heineke quite yet, because we'll save that for Washington.
Indeed.
So who's quarterback for the Giants? And then your pick, Monks, because Peps and I have gone Cowboys.
All right, I'll let you look up Glennon.
Yes.
Sure.
Give us your tip.
Try and see.
We'll see what's going on. All right, so I have also tipped the Cowboys.
Surprise.
Yep, a little bit hard to pass up on them.
Daniel Jones not expected to play this weekend.
So who's in for him?
Glennon, I imagine.
Yeah.
Mike Glennon, the likely starter against the Giants' divisional rival, according to a New York Giants community page.
Right. So odds
also via Yahoo and Giants.com.
Yeah, so neck injury is not great. So.
No.
Thinking of Danny Dimes there, Mike Glennon, the big redhead. See if
he's got neck issues himself. What were the odds on that in your tip, Max?
Yeah. So I've gone Cowboys. They are favourites $1.18. The Giants are out at $4.95.
$1.18 away is very short.
Yeah,
it is very short. What's that line?
So line 10.5.
Yeah.
Total match points 44.5.
Yeah. Don't bet on that.
You know what? It'd be a good game to talk about.
The game of the week, the round, whatever you want to say.
The toilet bowl. The
official toilet bowl.
Are these the two worst teams in football? Houston Texans and Jacksonville Jaguars.
Talent-wise, I think so. Record-wise, there's the Lions.
Obviously, the Lions have a worse record.
Yeah, talent-wise, Texans, I'd say, probably have the worst roster in the league, just because the Jaguars have football Jesus over there, so they've got at least something to work with. And James Robinson as well. They've got some talent.
A future, unlike us.
Yes. So Texans, they did lose to the Hawks. Davis Mills did throw over 300 yards. Brandon Cooks has still been playing pretty well for them.
Yep.
The Jags had 8 rush yards in total after they benched James Robinson against the Titans, and the Titans did it easy.
Unsurprisingly, that was the lowest rushing yards for the Jacksonville Jaguars franchise. Yep. I just said Jacksonville like I was Sean Connery.
I was giving you a solid pass. Keep going.
Sean Connery, 007.
Lawrence, football Jesus, was sharing the love, though, through 4 picks in this one. But as we said, Urban Meyer did get fired during where we're all struggling.
The beers, it's Friday night, boys.
Getting stuck in. We're just missing out. There's no cricket. Fire a head coach, good for 1 win. Pick the Jags. That's what I've done here.
It tends to lead to a win, doesn't it? Yes. I'm very concerned about the Jaguars on offense. 4 picks and 8 yards on the ground. You know what? I'm going the Texans, and I think
they're going to feed Robinson this week. They've already kind of alluded to it. He's our starting run back. He's going to absolutely get all the carries in this one.
Sure. Honestly, I don't know why we're talking about this game so long. But the odds will surprise you. The Texans, a little bit of juicy value, perhaps even with a line if you wanted at punters.
What are the Texans at?
Yeah. So my tip is I've gone Jaguars as well.
Jaguars.
That's it. That's the one.
Arriba! Come on, spit it out.
Keep going.
Non hablo inglés. Por favor.
All right.
Fuck me. Hurry up, Max.
Yeah. So, yeah. They are favourites $1.43. The Texans are out at $2.83. So the bookies out there must know something that we don't know.
They tend to, don't they?
Yeah, especially with such a large gap there. We do have a line of 5. Total match points of 49.5.
49?
39. Jeez. I need my eyes checked.
Yeah, you do.
Says the accountant on the end.
Okay, 39 makes it a little bit. How you going? 49, I would say smash that. Unders.
Yeah.
49, I'm not too sure. Also, you'd want to bet on this game to make it interesting. Titans Steelers, boys, possibly a little bit more interesting. The Titans, they
Smack the
did
Jags.
smack the aforementioned Jaguars.
We mentioned the handshake
We
as well.
spoke about the salty handshake between Urban Meyer and Mike Vrabel. I did say in that Titans-Jags game, I liked the unders. I said I don't think the Jaguars have much on offense, and the score was 20-zip. Did I put that, in a
Did you
bet
put that
slip?
in? Did you put
No.
that in your multi? No.
No, I didn't.
You bet on something else stupid.
I thought it. Yeah, I thought about it, and I lost money on some $5.28 leg. Trying to get myself out of the week-to-week paycheck kind of.
Make me a million.
That kind of gear. The Steelers, they're coming off the long break. They did have that crazy near comeback against the Vikings on Thursday Night Football. So they'll be well rested. You'd want that for an orthopedic, or geriatric is the word I'm looking for, in Ben Roethlisberger.
Monks, can you find out TJ Watt's status? Because he did leave that game injured.
He was tender, but
I think
he
he's
was on
going to be
his
all right
feet.
with the rest.
Yeah, he was on his feet.
Do I think it's going to matter too much in this? Probably not, because the Titans are going to pound the absolute shit out of the Steelers, is my think. They're going to, when I say pound, I mean pound the rock. They're going to run a bunch and see how they go. Maybe TJ Watt helps with that run game a little bit. But I think the Titans will handle the Steelers in this one. Even at home, low scoring. If it's around 40 points, I think unders.
Interesting thoughts. The Steelers defense, normally highly regarded. And then Dalvin Cook just goes out and absolutely pulls their pants down. The Minnesota Vikings offensive line, no one really, notable on that offensive line. They did draft the rookie Christian Darrisaw. They absolutely dominated the Pittsburgh Steelers. I didn't really see that coming. And then the Titans, a team that loves to pound the rock, that they would have been watching plenty of game tape of what happened on Thursday Night Football. I agree. I think the Titans get the job done here, but I expect it to be close. I do expect it to be close.
That's why I said pump the unders, because I think it'll just be a grindy kind of battle. Either team probably not hitting 20, so I would say they'll probably have a low 40s on the tips, on the odds there. Sorry, Max.
Yes. What was I going to say?
Tip and odds and whatnot.
Actually, no. I remember what I was going to say before all of that. Yes.
Go fuck yourself, San Diego.
Yeah. So Vrabel was defensive coach under
circle.
Myers.
Yep.
Back at Ohio State.
Ohio State.
Yes, that's it. I knew I had something to say.
I think I had that in my brain the whole time.
It's Friday evening. Come on, it's all good.
Yeah, I'm on my second Red Bull and I'm still slow. So
it hasn't changed much. Keep going.
If I'd had 2 Red Bulls, I'd be like, what are we going to do? That's good, squishy.
What were the odds on that? What was your pick?
I have picked the Titans.
I knew that.
Yep. So this is actually kind of close. So Titans are favourites $1.86. Steelers are out at $1.95. We have a line of 1 point and total match points of 42.5.
Tis quite low.
But I think if you're going to want to bet on one, I'd say unders in that one.
It's very low though.
It's in Pittsburgh. It is December.
Unders overs, we spoke about it at length.
Avoid if as much as possible.
It's flip a coin. It's flip a coin kind of shit, isn't it?
It is. Also, TJ Watt, limited practice with his groin injury.
Limited probably means he's going to play. Anyway. Oh, I was going to skip that. We're coming to a Jets taking on the Dolphins game. Jets being 3-10, have a little bit of COVID issues. Elijah Moore, who's actually on IR, has COVID. So for them,
double whammy.
Yeah, yes. The Jets did lose to the Saints last week. Interesting. I think I put the note in there. Jameis Winston was the only quarterback to beat the current 2 number 1 seeds. Take that as you will. Thought that was an interesting tidbit. The Dolphins are 6-7, and they have been ascending a little bit of late as well.
5 in a row.
Yes. So Zach Wilson, Trevor Lawrence, and Justin Fields struggling as rookies. Unlucky for them, they didn't end up in an organisation like the Patriots Mac Jones did. They do run into a Dolphins team here. I do like some of their talent. I believe Michael Carter is back off injured reserve, but if I
big in if he's available.
Yeah, and I think they got Coleman back from concussion as well. Having said all that, I have still picked the Dolphins.
The Dolphins' defense has been absolutely stout, especially
playing a lot better of late too. So.
Haven't they? I've gone the Finns. I think they do it quite comfortably. Speaking of unders, this might be one to consider as well, depending on what it is. Muggs, what do you got for us in terms of injuries, odds, tips, general shit chat, dribble, etc.?
Yeah. What do we say? Yeah, Carter's been full practice. What other names did we throw out before?
Tevin Coleman.
Coleman's full practice.
Yep.
Should be good.
Yep, should be good. In terms of tips, I have tipped the Dolphins. They are favourites at $1.22. The Jets are out at $4.25 at the moment.
It's way shorter than I thought it'd be.
It is short, isn't it? Yeah.
So we've got a line of 9.5 and total match points of 41.
Again, another game that you might want to bet on to make it interesting. A big divisional matchup between the Washington football team and the Philadelphia Eagles. Both teams are pushing. They're teetering, if you will.
You might need to find the health of both quarterbacks on this, because I believe Jalen Hurts is back playing in this, so no Minshew mania, though he looks really good last week.
Didn't he? Uncle Rico.
And Hurts has kind of been up and down. He's had excellent games and then follows that with absolute stinkers.
He's very good running the football. A lot to be desired, I suppose, sometimes passing the ball. The football team did have 4 wins on the trot before I
picked them against the Cowboys in an upset.
Wasn't far off.
Yeah,
it was just that first half. Forgot to show up for the first half. Came back a bit in the second.
Did lose McLaurin very early on as well, which might have
head knock,
which might have shell shocked their offense a little bit and had to redo their strategy. And through halftime, that helped them out. But yeah, like you say, Peps, who have I picked in this? I think I've got Washington.
You like Washington, don't you?
I've got Antonio Gibson. I really like Gibson. And he got like 13 carries last week. So in this one, if they've got no McLaurin, and if depending on if the Heineken is playing or not, he might also need to get all the carries like a full Chubb was a minute ago. I did go Washington.
The odds will surprise you here. I will go the Philadelphia Eagles, but I do not understand these odds. Monk's injury report, please.
He's at home, yeah.
Yeah. Jalen Hurts has been limited in practice. So is Jordan Howard and Miles Sanders. Fletcher Cox is back full practice.
What about the Washington quarterback?
Yes. So where are we? He is full participation in practice.
Very good.
So expect to start.
Yeah. Heineke will be going.
Heineke, yep.
Heineken.
And McLaurin is limited practice, but is expected to start.
Yeah, if he's getting practice, that means he's probably out of the protocols, which is a good sign.
Yep.
So that's
Indeed.
That's it, yeah.
Check out these odds. They'll surprise you.
Yeah. My tip for the week is the Eagles, or my tip for this game, rather. They are favourites $1.21.
Did you pick Eagles?
$1.20.
$1.20, that's way too short.
I'm not putting money on them.
No. What are Washington paying?
Yeah, the football team is $4.45.
Why are they so far out? Like, that doesn't make any sense.
Don't know.
For 2 teams coming in 6 and 7, and Washington football team are 4-1 in the last 5.
And their defense is vastly improved.
seems too juicy to me, unless they're worried about something going.
I know you're a little bit thrifty when it comes to the punt, but surely that's worth a tenner, isn't it?
Yeah, $4.
I think so.
It seems crazy to me.
Just some facts on this. So Washington has lost each of their last 8 December games against an NFC East opponent. And the Eagles have covered the line in the last 4 of their 5 games as favourites.
Yeah, that's just statistics. That doesn't matter.
Yeah. Mate.
That's blasphemy at this end of the table.
roulette, red and black. Doesn't matter if it's 8 reds. The chances are still 50-50 minus the green.
Yes. A final note on the Washington football team. We didn't really mention it in the news about Snyder. It did come out during the week that he potentially tried to tamper with the investigation into the bullying and the culture there. So it looks like a few government committees are going to get involved, and potentially all those emails they didn't release may get released. And Gruden,
I was going to say, ask Gruden. He'll tell you he's been tampering.
Yeah, so Gruden won't be the only one to potentially have a falling here.
Hang on. I've got someone live on the earpiece here. Some breaking news. Dan Snyder is a piece of shit. Thank you for confirming what we already knew.
Hold on, I've got someone else saying water is wet. Okay, yes, there we go.
Water is wet. Pepsi will have too many beers on the podcast.
Say water is wet in a while.
And play very ordinary golf tomorrow morning.
Yes.
Speaking of ordinary, the Arizona Cardinals take on the Detroit Lions. Boys, obviously we're all going to go the Arizona Cardinals here.
Cards by a lot.
Did drop a game on what was it, Monday night?
Cards lost during the week, yes.
Monday Night Football.
Yeah, can't remember who they played though.
Losing the Rams.
That's right.
Losing track of my games, my days, my words. They did drop from number 1 seed in the NFC to the 3rd seed. I expect they get an easy win here. Good to see Kyler Murray back, healthy. DeAndre Hopkins, he's healthy.
Yep.
The Cards are back and feeling good. Still a big question mark for mine. That record looks immaculate. Mm-hmm. Obviously, don't expect any dramas here against the Detroit Lions. I'm just speculating going forward.
Yeah.
Are they an elite team in the NFC? Time will tell.
Yeah, Cards by a lot. Hopkins done for the season is probably the big one. So. Yeah, knee strain and done for the regular season. I think if they make deep playoffs, he could potentially be back, but he's going to be done for a little while. They're shutting him down. I'm not 100% sure on the exact strain, but yeah, that's a big one.
I was unaware.
That came out during the week, so expect a lot of AJ Green in the absence of Hopkins, for that matter.
Hasn't AJ Green and Zach Ertz been, really, revamping their careers this year at that high-powered Arizona offense? And James Conner.
Yeah, James Conner, big time. And I think they get Edmonds back this week as well.
He'd be very close. James Conner, I think he's on a 1-year prove it deal. Very little money, and I think he's 2nd in the NFL in touchdowns.
He's really fit into that team because I think they needed grit, and he's really given it to them. Besides, like you said, the flashy, high-powered offense, when they needed the tough yards or that grittiness, as I mentioned, he seems to provide it, and can really put a defense on their back heels.
It's interesting because he's that hard-nosed, short yardage, goal line kind of guy, but then also. Do you know who leads the NFL in one-handed catches?
Yeah,
James Conner.
He's been catching
balls.
And
he pulled one off. He pulled one off on the weekend.
Big time.
On Monday night against the Rams. He's really rejuvenated his career, and hopefully next year, whether or not it's at the Cardinals, someone throws him some big money. Obviously, been through a lot of adversity with lymphoma, beating that. And, resurrecting his career. So shout out to James Conner. He's playing some good ball.
There's enough talk about this. We all pick cards. What are the odds?
Cards.
Yep. Well, just on James Conner, so he's not been participating in practice because of his ankle at the end of the Rams game. And Edmonds seems to be back this week.
Lucky if the timing, if Connor's going to miss a little bit of time.
Yeah.
What are your odds there?
I'll go off the top of the dome. Cards.
$1.10.
Yeah, $1.12.
Close, $1.14. That means the lines are out at $5.80. We have a line of 11.5. Total match points of 47.5.
Yeah, ignore all that.
You know what though? The Lions haven't really got dicked that many times this year. Just they really struggle to win football games, obviously.
Except against Denver, but we'll keep going. All right, Panthers taking on the Bills. Surprisingly, Bills 7-6. The Panthers started a little bit all right with Cam Newton, and his last two starts probably post 2015. Cam Newton's back, which hasn't been real great for them. They've gone 0-11 in the last 11 Cam Newton starts. PJ Walker did come in against the Cards and did look pretty good. They actually had some good stats there and a couple decent drives.
Well, that game that they won against the Cardinals, PJ Walker had the start, and that was the I'm back game for
and Cam was the pseudo scat back or wildcat back / running back.
The Taysom Hill, if you will.
Yeah, maybe that's his role going forward.
I think it should be.
As a bit more of a weapon than a starter.
PJ Walker,
snap in, snap out.
PJ Walker, probably not an elite NFL quarterback.
Punks, Sam Darnold, I think, is back from IR as well. So I'm not actually sure he's getting a start in this one, but I did see that during the week.
Yeah, speaking of below elite quarterbacks in the NFL.
Do I think it matters going into Buffalo against the Bills, who now need to really win out to solidify their position in the AFC for playoffs? No, I don't. I'm going Buffalo.
Buffalo for mine, although big question marks, maybe less so in this game, but maybe moving forward. They can't run the ball.
They got no run.
So,
well, they can. It's just Josh Allen.
Yeah.
He's got to do everything. So
when your quarterback is leading the rushing column week in, week out with 40-odd yards, it's not a good thing.
Well, I think he got more than that last week as well. My concern is we don't want him to go down that Andrew Luck path, because that's very much what Andrew was kind of doing for the Colts.
Doing it all.
And, yeah, he ended up a bit banged up in the process.
Nelson Muntz off The Simpsons had to do it all, threw it to himself.
Yes.
Great comparison.
Did you get an answer on quarterbacks for the Panthers for us, James?
So Darnold has been cleared to return, but not yet cleared for contact.
So PJ Walker's going to start.
I think so, yes.
Yeah, okay. Confirmed. Doesn't matter. They don't have CMC. They suck without him.
Yep. Bills.
That's it.
Odds?
Yep. So odds are Bills favourites, heavy favourites at $1.18. The Panthers are out at $4.90 at the moment. We have a line of 10.5, total match points of 44.5.
Some heavy favourites in this one. So that means we're going to the Sunday late games, and we will. First one there is Bengals taking on the Broncos, both 7-6, both in the hunt. There's a lot of teams in the hunt in the AFC. Denver, of course, coming off that big win, as mentioned, against the Lions, where they ran all over them. I think the running backs had 4 touchdowns between the two of them. The Bengals were a bit quiet, and then Chase came alive and Burrow came alive, and they managed to score and get that game into overtime, I believe. I can't remember off the top of my head if they won or not.
Must have chased that up there. Well prepared here, aren't we? Tonight?
Irrespective.
You would have seen the Broncos game.
Of course, I saw the Broncos game, and my concern, of course, is Teddy's been very quiet passing the ball, but the running game has been elite. Williams has a sore knee during the week. It's been a little bit limited. Should be right to play. Defense has been pretty good. The Bengals are a different beast, though. I think I was a Judas and picked Bengals because
fucking Judas. I can't. I thought 100%.
Because every time he backs.
Yeah. So I'm going with the reverse psychology strategy here and picking the opposition in the hope that Denver wins. So that's that's my plan here. So I have picked the Bengals. They are going into Mile High. I do really like a lot of what the Broncos are doing. Potentially maybe a shootout, but who knows?
Judas Gould to my right. I'm going to go the Bengals because I don't have a horse in this race. However, Broncos defense playing lights out.
Pretty good.
Running game's good. Maybe just a bit of that quarterback play, as aforementioned. Teddy Bridgewater got some pretty elite receiving talent, I think, there.
Yeah, I think it'll be, see where we get this year, and then we'll be in the Aaron Rodgers, Russell Wilson, Deshaun Watson sweepstakes next year.
Interesting. Well, considering Judas is on my right here, we have two Bengals. The Bengals did lose to the 49ers last week.
That's
So they had a fourth quarter comeback,
Yep.
and then, lost in overtime.
Yeah, they're really quiet and then roared back into that game.
Fourth quarter, 14-zip.
Yeah, looks like they scored the field goal in overtime for San Fran to only come back and score the touchdown.
Yep.
One of those shindigs. I'm glad they changed that rule.
It's good.
Yeah.
I quite like it.
Yep.
Definitely. In terms of my tip, I have gone the Broncos. They are favourites at $1.64.
They're Denver Broncos. They're $1.64 and you can't tip them.
He wants to make sure that they win.
Yeah, it's a very Denver thing.
The Bengals are out at $2.27. The line is 2.5, so touted to be a close game, and total match points of 44.
44. That might be slightly a bit low. I think both teams have been scoring points of late. So
Weather might be interesting.
weather, good point. Yeah, in December, very very cool.
I follow a few ski resorts over in our friends across the Pacific Ocean, and seems like it was dumping a fair bit. So whether or not that trickles its way down to Denver,
Weather.
whether the weather be hot or whether the weather be cold.
Just slap him. Next match will be the Falcons taking on the 49ers, as we mentioned before, getting that win against the Bengals. They themselves are 7-6, taking on the 6-7 Falcons, who are surprisingly almost at 500 considering the season they've had. Haven't been that great, though, since Ridley's taken his leave of absence. I did pick the 49ers in this one. George Kittle in that battle for best tight end in the league with Kels. Kels responding this week with his resume for who the best tight end is, but they've both been elite in the last month. So I think that's probably the big difference for me. I'm hoping Kyle Pitts does well, but Kittle, 49ers, that's my take.
Yeah, I tend to agree with you. Hard to see the 49ers dropping this one at home. Like you said, the Falcons, a little bit kind of overs on what people were expecting. You know, sitting a touch behind 500 there. But there at Santa Clara, you'd imagine the 49ers have the advantage. For our American listeners, I'm sorry, Santa Clara.
Makes all the difference.
Yes.
They probably can't understand what the fuck we're saying half the time.
Your thoughts, Max?
That's our problem. I guess, you can't get past the 49ers over on that side of the West Coast. I forgot what I was saying. Falcons.
Are you okay tonight?
I don't know. It's been a long year. I'm just happy I'm on holidays now.
Yeah. We're getting close to Christmas.
We are getting very
This
close
is
to
a real
Christmas.
crawling into it. Just, his legs have been taken out in
That's it.
Nam. That's what I'm getting. Real Forrest Gump vibes. Bubba, I can't feel my legs. That's you crawling into Christmas.
It has been a long year.
Yeah.
And
I like all kinds of shrimp.
did you give the odds?
I don't like shrimp.
Yeah, because otherwise I was going to use that
They're
as a
called
second.
prawns,
They
actually.
are called prawns over here.
And you don't throw
Had
them on
some
a
for dinner,
barbecue.
actually. What?
You can barbecue them.
You can, but they can go very wrong very quickly.
You can fry them, barbecue them, stir fry them, put them with pineapple
I
sauce.
can barbecue them pretty all right.
That's enough about prawns. Give us those odds.
Yeah. 49ers are favourites, $1.22. Falcons are out at
Wow.
$4.35 at the moment.
Again, a bit short.
Take it as you will. We do have a line at 9.5 and total match points of 46.
Yeah, I don't like any of that.
Out of all the ones that supposedly short, I'm more confident in the 49ers getting this job done.
Yep.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
I was going to use the long year as a segue for the Seahawks because Alex Collins is on COVID as well, so he's missing out. So we've got Seahawks taking on the Rams. Penny is going to be their starting run back and was pretty good last week.
I'd say better than pretty good.
Yeah.
16 for 137, 2 touchdowns. Tyler Lockett was good.
Mm-hmm.
DK Metcalf on Monkeys Fantasy team.
Still a bit quiet.
Still very quiet.
5 games and no touchdown.
It's all right.
Started off this year red hot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And it's gone very quiet.
I got another receiver. His name's Patterson.
Cordero.
No, don't you mean running back?
Well, interesting. Going back to that Falcons 49ers game, I bet the overs on Cordero Patterson receiving yards the last few weeks, and it's lost.
Yeah,
he's running the ball. He's actually running the ball.
He's actually a running back.
Yeah, he's actually a running back. Who would have known?
So back to this. Back to this game of the Rams. DK will probably get Ramsey on him. Be interesting with the Rams team, their COVID situation, because they got a bunch of defenders, like I mentioned before, Von Miller on that list that will miss out.
If Donald's good, they're good.
Yeah, I was going to say, if Donald's good, I think that'll be too much for the Seahawks. Their offense has been really good. OBJ's really fit in there as a replacement for Bobby Trees. Van Jefferson has been
coming along.
Very good as speedy wide receiver.
Cooper Kupp is on pace to break
all the records.
All the records.
He
He
is
had
so good.
13 catches
Yeah.
last week, 100-odd yards and a touchdown. Currently leads the league
By a long margin.
but he's got the holy trinity.
Oh, yeah.
He's got receptions, he's got yards, and he's got touchdowns. And on pace to get all of those easily. And the only real question now with the extra game is how many of those records is he going to break? You suspect catches definitely. You suspect yards maybe.
Yep.
And you suspect touchdowns less likely, but who knows?
Probable.
Definitely probable.
Yeah. Having said that, Rams down the end there.
Yeah, I've
Odds.
gone Rams. Before I get to the odds, Aaron Donald did not participate in practice on Wednesday.
Probably protecting him. It's like, stay away.
Probably. Yeah.
Don't get the COVID.
You see that
Show up on
bloke-
game day.
You see that bloke with his shirt off? COVID scared of Aaron Donald.
Riggs.
Dead set.
Yeah. I've gone Rams as well. They are favourites at $1.49. The Seahawks are out at $2.66 at the moment. We do have a line of 4 and total match points of 44.5.
A line of 4. Give me the Rams at home all day, every day. Not often.
4 is a bit low for these two
Not
teams as
often
well.
confident. Not often confident. Yes, the cocoa is about. It's lurking. But I tell you what, if Stafford, if Kupp, if Donald are good to go, those 3 could play, and they'd probably be the Seahawks.
Yep.
Well, I'm just looking at the Seahawks injury list. There's a lot of names on there. But yeah, just going back to Metcalf, he's, again, did not participate. Foot in back injuries. So
I feel like I think
Probably.
he'll play. It's
I think
more,
he'll play.
more of a precautionary.
He might be
thing
struggling,
there.
though, a little bit banged up.
But the Rams minus 4. That's my tip of the week. Packers Ravens.
In what should be a massive game, but, Monks, can you find out the status of Lamar Jackson for us? Because he did leave the game last week, and is it Hurtley came in as
Huntley
came in as the replacement for him and seemed to do pretty well.
Hurtley's Jalen Hurts' younger brother.
That's right.
Interesting matchup here between NFC and AFC hopefuls. The Packers had a very, very strange game.
Slow against the Bears, for a reason.
But high scoring. Defense didn't really show
Got
up.
back in that game and dominated.
Two special teams touchdowns for the Chicago Bears. But the Packers, they just said, oh, well, fuck it. I own you. Aaron Rodgers, CEO of the Chicago Bears, 45 points. We'll see you next year to sweep you twice. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
But at the Ravens, hard. They've been trending downwards. They've lost their last 2. They were the number 1 seed in the AFC not that long ago, and struggling offensively. So, did you get news on Lamar Jackson? Surely a different game.
While you do that, I just want to say
Rodgers
Rodgers had his toe, is a bit limited. I think Aaron Jones had a toe or foot as well, a little bit limited.
Yeah, Roger's complaining that his toe is quite painful.
Yeah, it needs surgery.
Said it's broken. Yep.
It's just whether can I play the rest of the year on it and then get surgery post-season, or whether I can fit it in somewhere.
He'll be right. Those immunisations help
big time.
help
Big time.
toes. Yeah.
Yeah, probably a bit of calcium and he'll be right. So I've picked the Packers in this because I just don't like where the Ravens are. Did you get an answer on Lamar?
I did. It's day to day.
Not a great answer.
No.
Which would be a huge...
God, that's a dick tease, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a huge out if you miss it.
Say yes or no. Yes or no.
Yeah.
I still like the Pack. I still like the Pack, irrespective.
Pack here, no Judas. You can call me Peter. Jesus is most loyal. He did also bail on him, I think.
Monks, we don't need any more biblical history. What was your tips and odds?
2,000 years ago, man. It's fact. Come on now.
Well, there's plenty of books floating around that prove it. So, go, Mr.
All right, let's keep this ball rolling. I have also gone the Pack. They are favourites, $1.39. The Ravens are out at $3.04. The line is 5.5, and we've got total match points of 43.5.
Yeah, Judas here. I'm not happy to punt on that. That's way too short at Baltimore for my liking, especially with a question mark around the Aarons. But I tell you what, if they play anything like they did against Chicago, they should be fine.
Yes. That leads into Sunday Night Football, and we've got the Saints taking on the Buccaneers. The Saints haven't been the same since the Winston injury and then Alvin Kamara kind of coming back. They did, of course, win their last game over the Jets, and Kamara getting all the carries in that 121 tutter with a few catches thrown in as well. They are much better with him. Taysom Hill playing a bit of a running back role, H-back role there too.
And we spoke about it. When Kamara's there, it makes Hill more effective.
Yep.
Because you've got to think about both of them. You know,
yes.
and
it's a one-on-one matchup besides the doubling or scheming to take him out of it.
And no knock on Mark Ingram, Saints legend, but it is a different story when a defense has got to account for Kamara and Hill in the backfield there.
I mentioned before, Winston also the only team to beat the two number one seeds, with the Bucs being number one. It is a rematch of that crazy game in Week 8, which the Saints won. A lot has happened since there. Then the Buccaneers are 10-3, only really missing AB through his fake COVID vaccination
fake
card.
ID, fake ID.
So I think he misses the next 2 weeks.
He's in the nightclub and he's 16.
What did the Bucs do last week, Monks?
Beat the Bills. You catch me?
They did. No, I didn't.
Well,
I completely missed it. Yeah.
for the man.
It's always the way. But they did get the win, as you say, against the Bills. Pretty good. Tom Gronk, good. Tom Brady on that streak to potentially being MVP again.
Chris Godwin. Regular season Lenny.
Yeah, Chris Godwin got a lot of ball as well.
That's right. That was the overtime as well.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think the Buccaneers are too good for the Saints in this one.
Brady's 700th touchdown.
Yes. And did you see they had a Bucs staffer there ready to receive the ball before it went into the crowd?
So what's the go? That one?
No free Bitcoins for this one.
So 600 was obviously regular season, and now it's 700 including playoffs. Is that the yarn there?
Yes.
Yeah.
I think so.
I feel like they just make up stuff sometimes, you know.
Tom Brady's got all the records, so it doesn't matter at this point.
Yeah. He does.
Monks?
Yep. So
no Judas, I'm assuming.
No Judas here.
Odds, favourites.
They are favourites. $1.17. The Saints are out at $5.
Short.
Very short.
Danny DeVito night here on the Esky. It is very short. Thank you.
At least you picked Danny DeVito. A final match for this round is the Monday Night Football game, where we have the Vikings potentially trying to give up another big lead to the Bears. The Bears are 4-9. Vikes are 6-7. Bears, as we mentioned, Justin Fields starting did score 2 touchdowns early.
Yes,
had the lead into the half.
Pushed the Green Bay Packers. Obviously, the second half a little bit lackluster.
Yeah, the real Packers showed up and then played their football and got the win there. I really like what the Vikings do offensively. They've got talent. there, and Kirk only has to do so much to get them wins.
He's sneaky good, man. He's sneaky good.
Sneaky
Everyone sleeps on Kirk Cousins. He's
This
sneaky good.
is prime time, though, and Kirk prime time is not as good.
I'm aware.
Still think they handle the Bears in Chicago. Probably, again, weather going to be cold, which means a heavy dose of Dalvin Cook.
The Windy City, baby. Agreed. I saw what Dalvin Cook did to that Steelers defense. The Bears defense, not too shabby, but possibly not as good as Pittsburgh. I think the recipe's there. A steady dose of Cook, as you say there, Sean. I think the Vikes get the job done here and stay in contention in that NFC North.
All right, finish us off with some tips and odds there, Marks.
Yeah, great save.
Great save.
I know how your brain works.
Who did I tip again? I have tipped the Vikings. They are favourites of $1.42. The Bears are at $2.89. We have a line of 5.5 and total match points of 44.
No, that'll be weather dependent.
Yeah, very weather dependent. Unders, if anything, for mind. Before we scroll down there, James, so the last kind of bit of news to finish us off was the Heisman Trophy winner with Bryce Young from Alabama actually winning that, which is pretty impressive considering some of the quarterbacks of late going through Bama. He did have over 4,000 passing yards and 43 touchdowns this year with 4 intercepts. And
10-to-1 ratio touchdowns intercepts.
Did have potentially 2 first-round wide receivers on his team, but so has the previous quarterbacks that played for Alabama. He did finish ahead of Aiden Hutchinson from the tight end from Michigan.
Defensive end,
sorry. Yes. He looks very like a really good specimen coming out. The big unit.
Some people will have him going number 1 next year.
Yes. Whether the Lions need a defensive end is a good question, but we will see. Kenny Pickett from the Pit from Pittsburgh was also in that conversation.
Old fake slide boy.
Yeah. Yes. I believe Pitt's already nominated for the draft. Hutchinson also has already come out and said he will.
That'd be
Young. I'm not so sure about. I don't think so.
Because he's a sophomore. He could go another year.
Yeah. Final points here, though. Back-to-back Heisman winners for Bama. They did have Devontae Smith last year. This is the 6th time they've had schools of back-to-back, Baker and Kyler, which is quite interesting. First-round picks as well. Follow that up, both as quarterbacks for Oklahoma. And then we've had Matt Leonard and Reggie Bush there as well in 04 and 05.
And then before that, you've got to go quite some time. Yeah. So Bama, obviously very dominant in the last few years in college football. Bryce Young wins the Heisman Trophy. Has he elected to go?
No. So
he's going to play another year.
Yeah, being a sophomore, he has to play another year.
Yeah, he's minimum 3 years, I think. No, you don't have to play the full 3 years, but
Any back-to-back Heisman chats?
Potentially. We'll have to see what.
When was the last time that was done? Fuck. Has it ever been done?
Oh, back to back. Well, Peyton missed out on his, so no. Well, not in the last 20 years. I
don't think it's ever been done.
No.
Marks will chase that one up.
Yes. All right. Well, that finishes off the NFL news for the week.